Hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Today we're going to be making a ring bearer pillow and a flower girl basket. Before we get started, if you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. First, we're going to be making the flower girl basket. The materials you're going to need are satin, like a satin that you would make a wedding gown with, and some batting, some quilt batting. Now I have two choices here. I used the kind that you would make a quilt with, like a lightweight one like this. And I also have this quilting cotton as well. I chose to use this for the handle and this for the sides of the basket, but you could use this for both. It's up to you. And then you'll also need some medium weight stabilizer. I've already cut out my pieces, so I'll put the measurements in the description below. So I've cut all my pieces and I didn't have iron-on stabilizer. So what I did was cut a square like this, sew it around the edge, and then I'll cut it out like this. It's a lot easier than cutting two circles and then trying to stitch around the edges. And then the sides, we're going to need to put the right side out of the satin, the quilt batting in the middle, and the stabilizer on the outside. So I'm just going to pin it on each side. So this is for the outside of the basket, and I've pinned them together on both sides. And this piece is for the strap, for the top of the basket, and we're going to just fold it like this and pin it together, like just at the top here. And we're going to stitch along this. Now the strap for the handle for the basket in the end is only going to be about 12 to 14 inches long, but I cut the strip longer than needed, and I also cut this longer than needed. And that makes this makes it easier to turn right side out. And also you're going to want some stability inside the basket when we're sewing in the handles. And for the inside lining of the basket, you're just going to need this piece of satin with right side facing out and the stabilizer pinned together on both sides. And we're going to stitch across the top and the bottom here again, just to hold the two together. So now that I have all the edges stitched, I'm going to be turning this right side out, and we just use a safety pin to do that. So now that that's right side out, you're going to want to press it down with this seam in the center. So just press that down there, and we'll get back to the handle later. So I wanted to put lace on the outside of the basket, so I just pinned it across the top, and I'm just going to sew right across so it stays in place when we're sewing the basket. You could use whatever size lace you want or leave it without lace. There's so many different ways we could do this basket. So now that I have the edges stitched, we're going to be sewing the sides together. So this is the inside lining, and it's sewn the same way as the outside, and we put the right sides together. And I'm going to leave a space of about, I don't know, 3-4 inches. And then we're going to just sew around. So now that they're sewn, I put this one right side out and leave this one inside out, and we're going to put them together. So when I sew this, we're going to leave an opening on each side so we can sew in the straps later. And on one side, I'm going to sew a larger opening so we can turn this right side out. So I'll probably leave about this much open. About 5 inches open. So I've sewed up the top and left an opening on each side. And we're just going to turn it right side out. You can press down the edges across the top. So I've pressed down the sides and I'm going to be sliding in the straps into the openings on each side. And pin it into place. And then hand stitch across each side to hold the strap in place. So now that I have the straps sewn in, we're going to be making the bows for the sides. And for this, I cut a 20-inch length piece of fabric that is 5 inches wide. I sewed it and flipped it right side out and cut it in half, so each piece is 10 inches long. And with the seam in the middle, I'm just going to hide this end in the other end. And do a running stitch down the middle. And pull it as tight as you can and just wrap the thread around a couple times. Tie a knot. You're going to do that with both pieces. So after I've sewn those together, I've cut 10-inch long satin ribbon, and it's 3/8 of an inch wide. And then we're going to sew these onto the side. So now we're going to be making the ring bearer pillow. I've already cut out my pieces. You're going to need stuffing and some ribbon, and I've cut out 2 pieces of the satin that is 8 1/4 inches square, and a piece that, it doesn't matter the length as long as it's longer than the square, that is 5 inches wide. And I'm going to be hemming the sides on this, and to make it easier to make a straight hem on this, what I did was on this side, I'm going to do the other side as well. I took a piece of ribbon, right one. So I took a piece of ribbon and I just stitched along the edge like this. And then I'm gonna iron it down, flip it over, and it'll make a nice hem like this on the edge. So now I'm going to press that open and press it back like this. So now that we have this done, we're gonna pin it. We're gonna pin it to the center of this with both right sides facing up. And on the other piece, we're going to put this piece of ribbon in the middle, right across. And we're going to stitch down just to hold them in place on each side. So now that these are sewn, we just have to trim the ends. And we're going to pin these together. Make sure that these are both running parallel with each other. We're going to sew around, but we're going to leave an opening so we can turn it around and stuff it. And we're going to stuff it. So now that it's stuffed, we're just gonna sew up this opening here. So now we're gonna make the bow for the top. And I did the same as with the basket. I cut a 5-inch wide strip and about 5 inches long. I hope you liked this video. If you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe and have a great day.